All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining us. It's another edition of the Q&A with Alan and Marshall Show. I'm Marshall Atkinson,
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
and welcome to the little show that could.
And
We're
still,
still kicking.
who knew? Episode
And guess what? We made it past Long Beach week. And as you can tell, my voice is still hoarse from running my face for a solid 5 days.
Yeah.
It's going to take, I've got really weak vocal cords, and this is what happens every trade show. I can't talk. So I get that, did you smoke like 100 cigarettes a minute ago? That's what I sound like to me,
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to get all into the trade show, but first we need your help. So this is a Q&A show, and how it works is Q, questions, A, answers.
Yep.
Okay. So we are going to ask some questions, but we want your questions also. And we're going to give some answers, but we want your answers also.
100%.
And you can start by just in the comment, hey, where you're watching from, what's going on, what's the weather like, who do you think is going to win on Sunday? Whatever you want to put in the comments, we want to know, right? And, we can predict some of you guys. We know Peter Walsh is going to root for the Chiefs. So we want to know what's going on. So please leave that stuff, right? And then, and don't forget to share our show. We love the fact that our audience people share what we're doing a lot, and that really helps us. So please, thank you. But we appreciate that.
It still amazes me, Marshall, that of the people that will watch live, we can see of how many thousands watch throughout the week and from all over the world. And to those of you that we are never with us live, thank you so much.
Yeah, because it's like 2 a.m, or they're busy printing something or whatever, right? We totally get it, but we like the fact that you turn up even when we're not live. So thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So a little change today. That's not a new virtual background behind you. You're actually somewhere on this planet and not in your office. Where are you?
I am in Kokomo, Indiana. It is right in the middle of northern Indiana. I actually used to live here. I had a small house that when I moved, I rented, and it has been on land contract. It is being sold, so I have closing at 3:00 today.
That's great. Congratulations.
I saw some customers coming down I needed to do, and just went out this morning and saw some new ones. So I'm at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Kokomo, Indiana. Yeah. I want to give a shout out because I have a very late checkout, and they're allowing me. So you're in Kokomo, Hampton Inn, and in Suites, right there on Reed Road, right in the middle of town. Great place.
Yeah, great. And by the way, since Alan's selling his house, drinks are on him later if you can hook up with him.
Absolutely. Well, the money's already being invested. It was a rental, so it's being invested into another rental.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. That's how you move your money.
Yep, trying to. So I don't have to work till I'm 95, maybe just 90.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So we got some folks commenting, so let's get to them, right? So Cindy's here from Texas. Good seeing you, Cindy.
Cindy.
And Richard's here. Hello from Michigan.
Hey, Richard. It was good seeing you, man. I only saw you for a minute at the show, but it was always great seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, and Cindy says Odessa, Texas is cloudy and 52. She's rooting for the Chiefs. She's currently sewing, and she's hungry because it's lunchtime. Frank says, good morning from Houston, and good to see you last week, Frank. Yep. He's S&S Activewear, and I met his wife, which I think I met her before, but I don't remember actually talking to her. So it was good actually talking with her.
Yeah, it was always good seeing Frank.
And congrats, Alan, from Cindy.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a tiny house. I want people thinking it's this monstrosity. It's a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath, bungalow house.
Yeah, but it's got a helicopter pad and a pool and a man
cave. Indoor pool and, no, none of that. But, I live there myself, and, I live fairly
Yeah.
So,
How much did it cost to put the prepper bunker in the backyard?
yeah, well, that was more. We don't talk about that. So.
All right. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have it.
That's
So,
that's up north in northern Michigan.
yeah. Anyway, so what we want to do right now is roll a commercial so I can find
We got some more people. Why don't you go through the list, Marshall, and see who else is on?
Why don't you go through the list? I'm trying to find the thing.
So Cindy says, congrats, Alan. Thank you so much. Kisa's here. Good morning, guys. Marshall, thank you for the help this morning.
Yeah, so, I made a custom video for her in about 2 seconds. So
we have a new person. So Jody, where are you from?
Hey, she's just down the hall. What's going on?
Marshall, somebody's in your house. So this is Jody. This is Marshall's wife, Jody. So
yeah, this is actually one of my favorite photos of her. That's her and her twin sister Tracy, where they're rock stars. And this is like my wife's on the right. This is like when she was like 20 or something. And I think they're in Chicago. I'm not sure, but I know she's told me, and I just don't ever remember. But
you always tell me she's a rock star.
She is a rock star, but in that photo, she looks like her. That could be the cover of like the new rock duo album.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, all right. Hey, thanks, Jody, for showing up. Love you.
Absolutely. Huh? Thank you, Jody.
All right. So let's roll that commercial.
Hold on. Where are you looking from?
California. There you go.
That's a lie.
Over the last 70 years, GSG has seen many changes in the apparel decorating industry. But one thing that hasn't changed is our dedication to helping our customers discover what's next. As we continue to lead the industry, GSG is here to support your business with industry experts. The latest innovative products, training services, and by delivering the perfect order.
All right, and Cindy says, "Hi, Jody." Getting all the gals being friendly today. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank GSG, man, for their sponsorship and support of us all these years. And man, did you see the new series Mark Soldonic's doing on video?
I haven't seen that new series. I've been trying to catch up from Long Beach all week.
I was passing through and just watched the first one. It's called Back to the Basics on Screen Printing. They started with setting up a press, and this is going to be great. They're going to go how to choose screen mesh, everything there. So screen printers, check out GSG, Mark Soldonic's Back to the Basics. They're starting this year video. So yeah, always a good refresher. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Awesome. Hey, Kim Cortana's here. Good seeing you, Kim. It was good talking with you yesterday. And Ray Markey's here. All right.
From Florida, Michigan. So Ray just bought a new house and moved into it a few months ago.
That's great. That's awesome. All right. Well,
doing awesome.
Well, let's kick the show off, right?
Go.
So something happened last week. Where were we?
I don't know. I am so tired. I still don't know. It was all a blur.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I ran my face. I must have met and talked to 100,000 people. I don't know. It's just like it was all blur. I went from one meeting to one meeting to one meeting. And let me tell you how busy I was, Alan. On Friday, when the show opened, right, I went down, I went over to the left, because that's how I walk a show. Yeah. I always go to the left, and I worked my way. I did half the show, and then that was it. And it was meetings. That was it. It was total 100% meeting. And I had meetings with folks. I taught classes. I attended some classes. And I really wanted to see more people. But let me tell you, it was so busy some of the people I wanted to see, I could never hook up with because it was just like, it was like a mosh pit,
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
Well, I didn't get to see hardly any of the show. It was so busy. And at Easy Way Blue Water, we had the biggest booth we've ever had.
Your booth was awesome.
It was so proud of our management. It did great. But Friday, I left a booth twice.
Yeah.
One was for the picture we were in for the Academy.
Right. That was fun.
I had to see James Ortolani at Hicks. I went from there to Hicks and from there to Kiwo because Dave Denning said something for me. Dave Denning shut out this book. I left at Printing United at our Academy meeting, thought it was gone. I had some important notes in there. He picked it up and has held it for me ever since October.
Oh, wow. How about that?
So I love Dave Dennings. We're in the Academy. We compete a little bit. He goes, we took pictures of everything in the pages. I go, you're welcome to. I don't care. So, but thank you so much. That's what makes this industry, some great people in this industry. So
there are,
But all that to say, that's the only time I left the booth. It was nonstop, people in, probably, I think, one of the best shows I've ever been as a supplier, as far as people in the booth, qualified people. It was incredible. And I spent all week has just been following up.
You guys moved some merchandise, I hear.
Well, everything was sold on the show floor, which was awesome. Some ahead of time, stuff that got sold. I know of one of my dealers picked up a check for an auto reclaim yesterday for one of them that was in my seminar.
Right.
And
by the way, I took your seminar and, it's not like I haven't heard this stuff before and I learned stuff from it. So you did a really good job.
Well, and that makes me nervous when you see Marshall Atkinson and Iole Bandholzer.
Yeah. And it's not like we weren't in the class. We were in the class, but we were in the front row.
and my boss, the president of Easy Way, there. But that's all right. It's what we do.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you your fly was unzipped the whole class. So,
that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. That's nice. So,
actually, it's funny. That happened to me at Printing United. Well, actually, SGIA back before Printing United.
No.
I was doing a class on sustainability with Marcy Kinter. And as we do at these shows, you drink a lot of coffee.
Yep.
And then you never miss an opportunity to go to the restroom, right? Yeah. So right before I was speaking, I went in there and I came back out and something happened and I forgot to zip up my pants and I did the whole talk with my pants undone and I didn't know and I didn't realize it. So I sat down afterward and I was like writing something down. I looked down. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Hopefully it wasn't opened up and all that. Like, we've all had those little moments.
Yeah. That's why everybody was laughing. No, just kidding. But it's like one of these things where, funny things happen at shows and you just got to roll with it, kind of a thing.
So I will say when I was younger and friends of ours would speak, we'd be there. I remember I'm in the front row and one standing there, he's getting ready to go behind the podium and he just looks at me and I just motion. I go, your fly's undone. And he looks at me and he's like, are you kidding? Like, can I go, your fly's undone? And so what do? Do you check? Do you turn around? So he kind of slowly, as
you go behind the podium. That's
someone was talking at it, standing next to it. So he kind of turns around, checks, and it's not. He looks at me and just glares, and I'm cracking up. But I realize how cold that is. That was like brutal. Yeah.
All right. So we got some more people commenting. So hold on. So Melissa's here, Missy and you and your daughter. But hey, we'll catch you next show or something. It's all good.
But it was great. They were at Printing United. It was awesome seeing them. So they're in Cave City, Kentucky.
Yep. And Kim says, you too, Marshall. And then Frank says, Mom, we really enjoyed your class. She's looking for hearing you at the DTF Expo next month. By the way, my class at DTF Expo next month is going to be completely based on how to do things for transfers. Mm-hmm. The class I taught at Impressions was mid-journey power user moves. I might show some similar things, but I'm going to be showing how to get things set up for a transfer. That's kind of the angle, right? So it's going to be all new material. So if you took my class at Long Beach, the DTF Expo is going to be like a stand-up comedian. I'm going to be trying out new material
Right.
at the class, right? You decide how funny I am. All right. Hey guys, glad to see you live again. Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. You know what? Hey, Charles, we missed you at the show. It's been a while since we've seen you at one. We missed you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, by the way, Charles, I would really love to see you at the Shirt Lab event in Austin, Texas. So Albuquerque to Austin, I bet that's a doable drive.
Yeah.
And it's on a weekend.
Is it in Austin this year?
April the 19th and 20th. Pencil it in.
Good.
All right. Kim says we've all been there, right? So you've given a speech with your fly down. Okay. That's Cindy says, I hope you had fun underwear. Nope. I'm just plain boxer shorts guy. Okay. And how about the spinach in the teeth too? Yep. Interesting. Good. And Darren says, hello from Ohio.
Hey, Darren's down in a little town in Ohio. I want to say Tippecanoe. Darren, help me out, but it's there in rural Ohio. I met Darren years ago. I wasn't even working for EasyWay, but we got talking, took him over to the EasyWay booth, showed him and his wife, and his son was younger, who now has 3 kids, Hopedale, Ohio, over there by Tippecanoe. And I show him the dip tank, I do the demo, and his son is the one who reclaims. I just telling him how to do it. He goes, oh my gosh, this is the easiest thing in the world, and looks at his dad, and his dad pretty much goes, I hate you.
Yeah.
He had to buy it. But that's awesome. So I've known Darren, his wife, and family for a long time.
Hopedale, Ohio, right?
Hopedale, yeah.
And by the way, my wife I am not funny. And I always tell you to check yourself. Thanks, Darren. She does. She's always like, come on, you're wearing that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to the show. I think we've gone down this tangent a little bit, right? So if you went to the show, please leave a comment of what you thought was really interesting or you want to share. And I've got something I'd like to share. Can I share it?
Sure, do it.
So if you went by the Aviant booth, right, I've got the shirt that probably Ray Smith printed. Where's the camera? So this is the new Bioplastisol. Okay, so this is a really nice print. It's got not much of a hand. It's plastisol. It's regular plastisol. If you don't know the chemicals, is made from petroleum, right? Yep. Oil. This is made from plants.
I love it.
Right. And so this is called a Revive, right? So, right. So look it up. I don't think it's on the market quite yet, but it's going to be. And of course, this was NASDAR was selling it, but I think GSG will probably carry it because it's a Woolflex product, right? Yep. So I think what's really interesting here is the fact that it prints like it's plastisol, which is the type of ink that I love because it's easier to use than water-based.
User friendly.
It's got a really good hand to it. And if you're a shop that's sustainable or eco, or everybody uses those words, green, okay, this is something you might want to be looking into and start playing around with it, and don't have a date yet, and because I got to arrange it, but I want to get Beth Kerfus, who is the product manager for this ink, and probably Ray Smith on the show. And I've already talked to them and they want to do it, just a scheduling thing. Absolutely. So we're going to have them on soon to talk about that. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing. And I'm very interested to see the legs that this is going to have because, sustainability is my jam, So I think that's going to be really cool. And the other cool thing I saw was, over at the ZSK booth, Liz Beavers, our friend Liz from GSG, she was showing off the new chenille embroidery machine that ZSK has put out. And so we might have to have Liz back on and we can talk about that. And I didn't get a sample or anything, but she was showing me a patch that she made. It's just fantastic looking, right? And talk about an instant money maker. So if you're doing embroidery, Cindy King, you should be looking at the chenille stuff because, one, Stalls has new chenille patches that was released at the show. ZSK has a new chenille machine. So here's what you could be doing is you could be adding that pop and that flair, whether you buy the embroidery machine or not. And that's instant value, instant dollars in your pocket.
100%.
You're not doing a whole lot of work. And this is where profit comes from. And you start thinking about hoodies and jackets and all this stuff that you could be doing this stuff. Start looking at like the hip hop brands and the athletic brands. A lot of them, especially right now, are using chenille to add value. I'm seeing stuff from like music artists. They'll do a jacket with chenille patches on it and just weird looking. I don't know what it is. These are like $300 jackets, and that thing cost them $60 to put together, right? You could be doing this in your markets. This is what I'm going at here, right?
Chenille back in the day used to be just for band jackets. It's not anymore.
Well, chenille was the varsity letter jacket. I played football. I had one of those, right? I don't know what happened to that thing, but, got tossed a long time ago. But it's like one of these things where it was a big thing. A Letterman jacket was a big thing, If you're doing Greek stuff, think Greek letters with chenille, right? Think, like a brand or a corporation that's doing something fun. I think this could be a good technique, right?
My point was that it used to be just one thing we saw on Letterman jackets and band jackets. Now it's another huge decoration. You're limited by your mind and creativity, and that just sets you apart.
And also think about how you could screen print like a design thing, and then you put the patch on top of it. Maybe there's like a tonal kind of a thing, and the patch in the middle. I think you could really do some really cool stuff with this.
Yep.
And especially if you go the patch route, right? Because it's just a heat press and you're done. It's not a whole lot of effort.
Right.
But there's value in actually getting that. Sorry for my voice. It sounds like I'm going through puberty. And because I am. And that chenille machine is it was just really, it knocked me out. It was
right. Awesome.
So you guys had a smaller unit at the show, right? Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, there were two of us that had smaller auto reclaim machines. I'm not going to slight M&R. They came out with a smaller compact machine also.
Yeah.
Blue Water did also. And it shows when you have top manufacturers going, what is the biggest issue for printers of all sizes? And it's labor.
Yeah.
And M&R is addressing it. We're addressing it.
Right.
And that is the exciting part.
And speaking of M&R, they had some cool stuff, right? So M&R came out with a smaller Quattro, and is Peter on here yet?
He is.
He is. Peter, what is the smaller Quattro unit? It's like the Quattro 12 or something.
Yep.
It's a smaller unit. And then he also showed me this image capture thing for your automatic press that checks quality control. That's coming out later this year. It's called ICS, if I remember it right. And that was really cool to see because, you look at how like the digital squeegee, some of these other things work. There's an optical camera that takes a picture of the image, right? And that's how everything lines up. So they can use that same technology to check, you got a pinhole? Is there a thread? Is it registration? Are we out of white ink or whatever? And then it gives you an alarm, right? And then that could just be hooked up to your press. I thought that was really great, because one of the challenges we have in this industry, I think, is people, right? And it's training people. And sometimes our people just don't know all this stuff and they don't know what to look for. Having basically a robot that looks at quality control could be a really good thing for a shop that maybe has greener staff. Like the industry veteran guys, they know what to do. But if you're training a catcher to run your auto, right, they don't know to look for this stuff all the time. That could be a really cool thing for you. right?
Well,
So,
Marshall, imagine if it catches the mistake. By the time the catcher, it's printed, the catcher gets it, you're already 6 to
yeah,
10.
10, 12 shirts in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this is kept
But the problem, actually, that's not true. If it is caught on press, that's one round of shirts.
Yep.
If your catcher catches it, it's one round of shirts. And how many shirts are on the belt? That could be 20 or 30,
exactly,
depending on how fast you're running and what you're doing, So,
well, this is, I mentioned this at SGI, Printing United at their summit. I was on a panel on scaling.
yeah.
And, one of the things when scaling is everybody knows, make sure you have the sales, make sure you have cash flow, make sure you update your equipment. And one of the things I said is what people forget is when you're scaling, you need to scale your resources, your consumables, and I'll start working that. But then your technology, and that technology may not be in the industry yet. So way to go, M&R, for doing that, because this technology is being used in printed electronics, medical device printing and stuff already.
Yeah, well, one of the things I'd like to see, and somebody that's way smarter than me can do it, is an optical sensor that can count for you, right?
Yep.
And then that image is, the count is shoved back into your system. So when you're running a report about your orders, that order was printed at a certain speed, and that the setup time was whatever, and there isn't any manual input. It's just the machines doing their thing. And then that could all be graphed and analyzed. And so I think where that would be really interesting is where, what's the difference in speed with this brand of shirt or this style of shirt or this many colors or this type of placement or whatever. Think of the effect that might have on scheduling, on cost optimization, on all this stuff. So you're looking at because we all know, like, a t-shirt's easier to print than a sweatpant leg or a bandana or whatever. They're all going to have different numbers. So if you're tracking all this automatically, think about the boon that might be for production scheduling, just a thought. All right. So we've lost count here on people here. So hold on. So Kisa says, wait, are you bringing your wife's cookies to Austin? I think that can be arranged.
That'd be awesome. Good.
Yes. So we'll see about that. Frank says Friday for the show. By the way, if you don't know, Frank works for S&S Activewear. Thank you, Frank, for all you do for me. Friday, extremely busy. Saturday, busy. Sunday, steady trickle and able to walk the floor more, visiting other booths. Yeah, Sunday, I was in a car heading back to Arizona, and I listened to the football game on the way. That was a good drive for me.
Well, thank goodness that that was the last Sunday show. Impressions now is going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which I think is really
okay. Carlos says, hello, guys. Good to see you. 2024. Let's go.
Carlos, was great seeing you as always at the show. And even though I see you when I'm in Chicago a lot, but always good seeing you. And,
I saw him briefly.
Him and the staff from Sharp Prints. So it's great.
Sean says, happy Friday, everyone, from Alpharetta, Georgia. Peter Walsh. I'm sure he's going to have a Go Chiefs Go comment here soon. Kim says vintage. Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
She knows all about that. Josh says, good morning. Hey, Josh, good to see you. And by the way, I want to congratulate Josh Wiley for posting in Facebook on him achieving a 2% dot on his screens. That's just amazing.
Congratulations.
Love to see that. That's awesome. Keep pushing it, buddy.
Yep.
Mario's here. Hello, boys. Happy baby new Josh. Yep.
Mario, we got to say hey to Mario. I always want to, because he's one of them that is from across the pond.
Yeah, right.
So it's early in the morning.
He's where is he? Czechoslovakia? Where is he?
Mario, where are you from? I want to say the Czech Republic, but it's wrong. It's not Slovakia, because that's where I've been to. But but he's over there, and I'm not sure what time it is. So extra thanks to you.
So Kim says 20 to 30 spoils for sure. She's talking about, on the press. Peter answered my question. ICS image capture system provides quality control of the printed image before the garment is removed from the press.
Great.
And companies compares each printed image against an approved quality standard. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Artem's here. Hey, Diligence. Sorry I missed you at the show. I was all over the place. The best way to find me at the show was to text me, and that's how I hooked up with people. Yep. And I was getting text after text after text. Hey, I'm over here at booth, whatever. Come find me. And then if I had a minute, I would go find them. And that's. But when I say literally, I went from person to person to person. I met with shops that were struggling. I had private meetings with folks. I had meetings with possible customers. It was crazy town. So
you know what, Marshall, you and I don't think saw each other at the show, just briefly in passing.
Your class, and I came by your booth once, and then the photo. That was it.
I mean, it was minimal on there. So Richard Greaves, who we're just incredible friends with. I think I saw Richard briefly there. It was such a busy show. It was so great.
Yeah. Karen Clapp. Hey, good seeing you, Karen, and your husband. It was great hanging. Richard says Jody's onion dip is required for Austin.
Oh my gosh.
Richard, I don't know if we can cook it because here's the thing. In Austin, we're in a hotel, right? So, but her onion dip was awesome.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Dean says, howdy, fellas. Hope you had a good time in Long Beach. Yes, we miss seeing you, you goofball.
I didn't even get to see Brian. I did not even get over to the booth. I didn't even get over to one side of the show, hardly.
I walked by their booth, gave him a high five, and he was talking with somebody. I told him I'd be back, and I lied to him because I never went back.
Yeah.
And then you want cookies done. There you go.
Always want cookies, Jody. So
that means, Kisa, you have to come now.
Yeah.
And it should be easy for you since you live right there by Austin, right?
Yeah.
She lives in Buda, Texas, which is south of Austin, I think, somewhere in there. I don't know.
I'm excited. I've never been to Austin before, so
I haven't been to Austin either. So and here's the thing: we just signed the contract for the venue. I've got a hotel we're sneaking up on. They sent me the contract yesterday, so I'm going to have a hotel block here probably this afternoon when I sign the document.
Our buddy from ThreadX, my friend Jason Rink, lives in Austin.
Yeah, great.
To get him as a speaker. Yeah.
Yeah. 2% dot is a true achievement. Good job, Josh.
Yeah.
Great. Right. All right. Where are we in our topics? Because we're way past time here.
Yeah. We're at topic number 1.
Topic 1. All right. What was topic 2? Oh, here's our debate. The industry is back. All right. Before we get into that, let's go to the pulse real quick.
Yep.
Okay. So we always do this at halfway. So if you go to the Go GSG website, right, right here at the banner at the top, you can click, and then you can open the GSG Pulse magazine, where you can see all types of great savings and all the items, not probably all, but a lot of the items they sell. There's QR codes for more information, for discounts, for color cards, all types of stuff. And I think even Mark has some videos that you can watch for tips on how to use products.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Go to gogsg.com, click, and get the Pulse magazine to learn more.
You know what? GSG was there. California's a little bit out of their area, but man, they were there with their staff.
They're strong.
Real strong. They had Quattro there, and they were killing it.
Let me tell you about GSG. So my sales guy, when I lived in Milwaukee, Tom Robinson, is now the GSG manager for the Milwaukee branch. And I got to catch up with him for about 30 minutes or whatever it was on Friday. And it was so fun to hang out with him and meet with him. And let me tell you what an awesome decision they made by hiring Tom to run that division. Because, and I'll say this, and I know and love you, Alan, but Tom is my number one sales rep in this industry, bar none, above anybody else.
I'm gonna have to.
He's the guy. He's the king of the mountain. He's the champ.
Well, and you know what? Tom is respected. I never competed against him. Our areas butted up, but I know Tom and his reputation. And Marshall, you were never at a shop that I called on. So
yeah. I'm sure if you
called, hey, there's a bar.
Number one, but
I don't know.
Tom did everything to make me better, to support me and my team, to help us solve problems. Even when he didn't have to, he showed up. That's why he's the champ, man.
And that's what a good support and good rep does.
And let me tell you, and you have the same philosophy, because I believe that you can buy supplies from anybody. That's easy. Okay. Making your customers succeed is the mark of a true professional in this industry. And that's Tom's deal right there. Right.
Yep.
So,
how can you help him? You're the guy with the information. You're helping him with solutions. You're showing him what's new. You're bringing, and for Tom, who worked for a supplier and like GSG, you're going, wait, new inks? Aviant's there. I got him in there. We're doing the test. We're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You don't have a rep at that time. You have a partner.
Yeah, right. That's great.
That's exactly
so there's probably two people cheaper. Okay. But what you're buying is that. And we'll talk about that maybe if we have enough time at the end.
Cheaper in price, but more expensive in value.
All right. So I want to shift to this debate, right? So the debate, and I want everybody to comment, right? Is this industry back, right? So if you've been to Long Beach, like we're trade show junkies, we go to all of them, right? So is this industry back? So when you just last week, it was a mosh pit of people. You couldn't even go to some booths. They were so packed, okay? Compared to last year, compared to the year before that, right? Compared to what's going on with our customers. I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people had record years last year.
Yep.
And some of them, they had record years last year. Their sales were actually down, but their profit was up, okay? And that's because, we're coaching and doing stuff, but because they're making better decisions, they're automating, they're dropping their labor, they're doing the things that they need to do to succeed, right? But they're also expanding into different areas, different markets, different types of decoration, just different things that are making them more money with less work, right?
Yep.
So my question to you and to our dear audience is this industry back? And I mean back from pre-COVID stuff, right? What's your opinion, Mr. Howe?
Oh yeah, it's back from pre-COVID at all. Some people were a little down. Everybody had an incredible, like 2 years ago, just a massive. Last year, great years. There were people that were busy from January to December 31st. This month, a little slow, we're hearing around, but nobody is worried. They said it's a good breather. There's stuff in the pipeline. It's back. People are still buying. They're looking at ways, and what COVID did and everything, this whole labor shortage is, I don't want to say it's hard. Let's just face it, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's forcing everybody who's a real business going, what can I do to maximize the labor I have and do it better? And that's why people like M&R, like Blue Water, are coming out with the solutions we have. That's why I wrote the article for Screenprint Magazine, automation, small market automation for screen printing. And if you are a manual or a one automatic, read that article. There are solutions for you that do not cost $100,000. Right. None of them cost $20,000.
Yeah, right.
So everybody is looking that way, and that's why they're doing better. They're staying profitable. They're moving more product, and they're doing well. And I'm excited.
Right. How much of an impact do you think DTF, DTG, online stores has had on it? Do you see that nibbling up at the screen printing market share?
Well, maybe some on DTF and DTG. I still think, Marshall, it is still another profit center. When we start thinking,
so it's not a replacement as an add-on.
100%, because now for DTF, there's still going to be a thing of how many will it be better to screen print it? Will it be better to do that? I don't know where those numbers are. DTF is a real thing. It's here to stay. I'm not denying that. It is a good process. It is there. And do we watch it an easy way? Absolutely. On it, because we're all screen. But screen is not going away anytime soon. Because I've heard this my whole career, from when digital came out in the graphics end. from DTG to DTF. And
Well, I think this is my opinion. DTF for a lot of people is the gateway drug. That's going to get them into this industry
100%.
because they can start their business from their basement or kitchen table and not have to get all the screens and chemicals and And then what's going to happen is they get an order for 1,000 pieces, and then what do you do, right? And so that's going to be an interesting thing, right? So, all right. So if you're watching this, I would love to get y'all's opinion on this.
Marshall, it's not just it's 1,000, 5,000, those 50,000 pieces. What happens when you need a specialty product, when you need a gel, a high density, stuff like that, chenille, things like that. It's not taken away from embroidery and stuff. It is giving you another market, how to be more profitable on the jobs you can.
Right.
So you might have a 10 color automatic. Great. You're not setting up and wasting time with that on these smaller orders. You can do DTF, and you're making better money on the jobs you are running on there.
Right,
and it's about doing business smarter.
Yeah. Got some great comments. Saw Simon, morning, gents, and Marshall looked a lot taller in Long Beach than usual, especially when his vantage point. Okay, so he had his knee surgery finally, okay, because he's been talking about it for a year. And so I'm walking. So it's Saturday. The show just closed, and it's raining. And I'm trying to get to the elevator to get to the parking garage. And Simon has the little scooter wheelchair thing, and he literally almost ran my foot over, right? Yeah. Trying to get out from under the little shelter thing by the elevator, and we had a good laugh, But It was good. It was good seeing him, and I'm glad you had that surgery, and it looks like it's going to be a success. So good. He says they were strong, swamped the whole show. That's good. Sean says the industry never left. Please explain what went where. Orders went. I'm talking after COVID, everybody's stuff dried up. And if you've been to going to shows, that the traffic at the shows and what people are buying have been less. And now I think it's really accelerating. It feels like there's a more buzz, right?
I'm actually more excited for Atlantic City than I usually am, Marshall.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I like it. I like the Atlantic City show. It's a very interesting show.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there Wednesday through Saturday. I booked my travel the other day. I'm teaching one class, but I hope to be networking with people that are going to that show. So if that's a show you go to, let's hang, right?
Yeah. Same thing.
Right.
I'll be there with
Peter says, I'm dreaming a repeat, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's on football, right? The first game of Chiefs versus Lions, if the two road teams could somehow prevail, the last game of the season will be Chiefs and Lions again.
That would be fun. And you know what, Peter? I hated it for you, but not really, considering the 50 years we've put up with the Lions. You know what? That put us on a roll with the Chiefs going, okay, we're a good team. We beat the best. And, Marshall and I were talking before the show, my thoughts on the game against San Francisco. I think when you're into these last four teams, any team can beat anybody at this time of the season. Who's going to capitalize on other person's mistake? Who's going to be able to adjust and all that? So it's going to be a great time for all of us.
Right. So Peter also says, in just a couple of short years, DTF has evolved from a technology that legendary U.S. band, the Eagles, would have described as the new kid in town, to become a mainstream garment decorating process that has taken its position alongside screen print, DTG, and hybrid screen print, DTG printing.
100%. And, Marshall, we're going to have, we've talked about people we're going to have in the show. We're going to be talking about that in a few weeks with a client. So it'll be exciting.
So Frank says, Marshall said, y'all already giving her for Austin. Absolutely. Hey, by the way, I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. You can't get more y'all than that city. So I also say, fix into and help me tote this in the house. Right. So I've got all the slang down. And last night at dinner, I had cheese grits. So just saying.
So Frank, even though I'm from Detroit, my mom and grandparents are from Southern Alabama.
Yeah.
So in Detroit, I was raised that. So you'll hear the y'alls coming out for me every once in a while.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, I did the good Southern boy part of me. It was black-eyed peas, turnip greens.
Now, hold on? Did you cook it with a dime in the pot?
I didn't. I stopped, and it wasn't a dime. It was always a silver dollar grandma did.
Oh, okay.
Until we finally got her to stop that, because one, money is dirty, and so these were real silver dollars. So the metal in it probably is not the best.
Yeah.
But, for the luck on it. So what you don't know, people, is that my grandmother used to put a silver dollar in it while the beans are cooking for luck as well.
Yeah. So Peter also says that's not to say that the introduction of this new technology has been all smooth sailing. It has not.
Nope.
Truth be told, early adopters of DTF transfer printing technology had to overcome significant challenges related to the lack of reseller support with equipment, software, and application processes. 100%. And I would also throw in there warranties, instructions, training, video. I know tons of shops, including some folks that are on this chat right now, that have had major issues with DTF. It's been a nightmare for some, and they've lost $50,000, right? That they're not getting back. And there's lawsuits and all kinds of stuff. So,
unfortunately, Marshall, and you and I were talking about this, and we warned people, if you buy into it, you are an early adopter back then.
Yeah. We've buyer beware.
We saw it. It's playing out, the whole DTG coming into the industry, same thing. Now, here's what the exciting part has been, even from a year ago. Nobody talked about, and we did early on, about some of the powders, some of the dangers of it. All of them are, almost all of them are contained now. Some of them have HEPA filters on them. Richard Greaves was telling me. And that is the stuff that makes it exciting, where the real, as you say, Marshall, the adults in the room are making the changes. They have the service behind it.
Right.
And they're doing it right.
Yeah. And M&R, by the way, is the adult in the room. So it's good.
Yep, 100%.
Ray's here. Good seeing you, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Peter says the good news is that several of the major equipment manufacturers, including M&R, have added DTF transfer printing equipment to their product offering and backing things up with systems of service and support. And I learned a long time ago that "Will bless your heart" is not a friendly greeting in the South. No, it means something completely different. So
it is. Yeah. So like in our family, if we're talking, they go, "Will bless your heart." It's like, hey, watch your language.
That's right. All right. So
if we're
not going to get to all the stuff we want to talk about today, but I do want to, we're going to shift gears.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw this out here. And what happens when your mind is closed? And something happened yesterday and today that, let me tell you, there's things that happen in this industry that really just, like with a cheese grater, grate my butt. Okay. And this is one of them. And I know I might be opening myself up for some flack. Okay. But I want to share something that I think is just ridiculous. So hold on.
What you're going to show too, I'm going to say, people, we're going to show you something, but this has happened to Marshall, to me, and to a lot of people.
Let me get it set up here.
Yeah.
So yesterday, our good friend and Academy member, Michelle Kaza, get the original thing,
who you
answered a question that somebody posted about doing CMYK printing. If you don't know who Michelle Kaza is, Mother Google knows all. But he is probably the best printer on this planet.
Ever.
And I'm not even kidding. Okay.
Ever. Yeah.
So he lives in France. Okay. And lots of really super industry folks have actually gone to France to study under him. Okay. And so he wrote this.
And I'm going to name drop. We're talking people like Mark Coudray, Charlie Tiley, Mark Gervais.
Yeah.
And if you don't, here's a little caveat. Michelle Kaza is mostly a serigraph printer, but he's done textile. He's worked with water-based UV.
He's worked with Beppe. He's worked with a lot of people, right?
So here's what I put it. His clientele when they were alive was Salvador Dali, Andy Warhol, and Pablo Picasso.
Yeah.
That's who they let do his reprints. That
Yeah.
puts Queen
So
of England-
yeah, you might print for Nike, but are you printing for Picasso?
yeah,
Come
that
on.
put the Queen of England, who he did, on the B list.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get to the thing, right? So that's who Michelle is, right? So he answered this question in the Screen Printing Gurus, Print Hustlers thing, right? And he answered all the stuff. So the original post was this guy, he wanted to know if he could print this as 4-color process. That was the question.
Yep.
Okay. Can I print this 4-color process, or do I have to do it simulated, right? Because the guy has only been printing for a year. He's trying to get the information, right?
Marshall,
and of course,
people,
there was this giant list of answers, which a lot of them were, weren't good, right? And so Michelle sees this, and he wrote this whole post, and then he posted his opinion. Okay, here's the thing.
So,
send it to DPI, Greece, but and then he did his own SEPs. Okay, by the way, at 90 LPI. So if you can print 90 LPI, you're a hell of a printer. Just saying.
Yep.
So I posted, and there's all this. There's this big, giant, long string. Okay, so there's a guy, and I'm not going to give him a shout out because we don't want to flame that. Okay, who lacerated him about how he didn't know what he was talking about.
So Marshall, real quick, if you don't know what pure 4-color process is, the different simulation, 4-color process, you're using 4 colors, using usually black, cyan, magenta, and yellow. Yeah. And they're usually and they're all transparent.
Right. So here's what he did, right? So today he's insulted by the dude, but he wrote another whole giant article, step by step by step by step, about how to do it. Again, he doesn't have the original source file. He just got the thing from Facebook, right? And then he shares his whole process with screen angles and a print order and the whole thing. And again, he gets slammed by the trolls on Facebook. Okay. So I'm not going to get into what the posts are or anything, but here's what I want to share. Okay. Is that when you have people, and it doesn't have to be Michelle Casa, right?
Right.
Answering your questions in a public forum. Okay. I know that you have an opinion, and you've been doing it whatever your way is for the last 5 years, 10 years, or how long you've been in business. I want you to understand that maybe you should open your mind and think, there's a better way of doing this than the way that I've always done it. Or maybe I should find out if somebody goes to this trouble to post all this stuff, maybe they know what I'm doing. Maybe I should listen to them.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe I should take a minute and see, they might be a better process. Maybe I can learn something and improve what I'm doing. Okay. Instead of taking a stance because I'm a keyboard warrior troll, I'm going to flame this guy to get my rocks off. Yep. Okay. So for me, this industry works great when we have people like Michelle Casa or Coudray or Alan Howe or Richard Greaves or Dot Tone Dan Campbell or whoever sharing their thoughts. What I hate is when we appeal to their baser instincts of us, and we have to get out there that I know more than you and you don't know what I do because I don't do it your way. 100%. I absolutely hate that. And so here's the reason why some guys like me and other people don't post in these groups, is because it just infuriates us when people who don't know what they're talking about or have limited experience or have a different opinion, instead of saying, hey, I have never tried that way, maybe ask a question, they go for the flamethrower hand grenade on the people who post.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. And so I wanted to throw out there that I'm sorry for our industry that we have people that do this stuff. Okay. It just brings the whole industry down. I'm an educator at heart. Am I right all the time? No. I share stuff that I know and whatever, but I'm open to a new idea. I'm open to learn. I'm open to learn stuff.
Yep.
right? And so I would love to know from the group here, if you're watching this, what is your opinion on this? Did you see this post? There was another post about CTS printers that was yesterday too. That it's kind of the same thing, right? What is y'all's opinion about this? Because it just really kind of just irritates me.
Yeah. So on that one on CTS, it's one that one of the guys is saying some stuff that I'm going, this is interesting compared to laser, compared to wax. But I would normally not agree with, but I was telling Marshall on it, you know what? Because of the guy that's saying it, he's putting proof up. I know him. It's like, okay, what am I missing? What's different with this? I'm going to call him because I don't know everything. Things change. This is how you learn. And, Marshall, for me, when I'm at shows, it's, of course I have a booth. I have to sell stuff. I have to educate people. I don't have to. I get to educate people. But this is where I learn. Also, I don't know everything. And I don't have to understand it right away. I'll sit there and look, go, okay, I got to ponder this.
Yeah. If you say, anybody who says they know everything is so full of it, it's not fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody
knows everything. I call people all the time. I'm forever calling a Mark Soldonic. I remember Alon Winters and stuff. I remember the first time I saw a moire pattern on a print, and I could not figure out where it's coming from. And I sent it to Richard Greaves and Alon Winters, and they both spotted back. They go, the moire's not in your screen. The moire, it's the screen, it's the mesh interfering with the weave of the shirt. I have never seen that in a print before. It was incredible.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we got some comments here. So Simon says the growth of DTF has been exponentially faster than DTG Digital.
100%. Yeah.
Richard says, yeah, founder of FESPA. Exactly.
Michelle Kaza was one of the founders of FESPA. Absolutely.
Yeah. And not to mention like crazy master printer level awards and stuff. Right.
Mark Gervais showed me, Marshall, before you were in the academy, he had the print that of this, just one of the best high density prints he was.
Oh, the one of the Chinese wall art.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy.
He was working with Kaza on that, and he got it and printed it and sent it to Kaza and was expecting, going, this is perfect. This is great. And he says it's a little rough because he goes, when Kaza goes, this is great, we're almost there. And he can tweak it even more. It's so incredible.
So Ray says it has a good comment here. So yeah, you can print it 4-color process, but the question of whether it'll be true to the original image is only 4 colors. This does not mean it will not look good, but it may not look good enough or be correct to the original. There are reasons 4-color process with multiple spots exists. There are reasons hexachrome exists. There are reasons where there are dozens of different dot styles. Yeah, but the original question was, hey, can I do this 4-color process? Right.
Absolutely.
So he was answering that question and showing, here's what you want to do. And he wasn't even using a black printer. He was using the black of the shirt to help modulate it. And, so like, to me, it's like, hey, let's try what he's saying,
Yep.
Peter says, open your mind. What an interesting concept.
Well, one of the things I was actually this morning, I was at a shop before here in Indiana. We were talking about those Facebook groups, and I told him, I said, there's some good information, but watch, when there's a question, are people answering a question, or are they just saying, if you have, for example, an emulsion question, why is my emulsion doing this? What's going on? I always start asking questions about, tell me about your process. When the answers start coming, well, I use this emulsion, I do this, I'm using this one, I'm using this one. That's their opinion. Yeah. Why is my print looking like this? Well, I use Wolflex ink. I use one-stroke ink. I use Rutland ink. That's not an answer.
Yeah. And most of the time it's about the screens and not the ink anyway.
100%.
So, all right. So Mark says, I stay completely out of these groups for this very reason. Sad side of the industry. Agree.
And unfortunately it is, because here's the other thing. People like Mark, myself, Marshall, Peter, when we go on there and get flamed, people that are keyboard warriors can say anything they want about me, my company that I work for, and all that. I'm not allowed to say anything about them.
Yeah.
I can't say to some of these people.
And you shouldn't really,
Because we know that their printing is horrible. We may have been to their shop. If you're that good, then why are you 150 days behind in your bill?
Yeah.
Why are you about ready to go out of your business?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can't say crap like that.
Kim says, I never want to stop learning.
100%.
Josh says, I stay out as well because you can help. One of the top printers in the world. This is why these guys stop helping. This young crowd is huge and as dumb AF as when it comes to respecting your elders and mentors.
Well, and I think that's just young in general of every generation. But I think as industry professionals and everybody wants to be, we can all learn from each other. And like, man, if I saw that coming up, like I would never thought about that. I'm going to go read that going, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's not in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to learn from that.
Right. And Ray says the few times I answer in these forums, I try to stay extremely neutral, technical, and provide numbers for my data and still run into people who are a-holes. Yes.
Yeah. I always,
Peter said,
I go on and I DM them, I private message them. I'll say, I'll DM you and do it. I just won't do it.
This is why Matt Marcotte from Printava has launched Screen Print GPT to make the information available without the trolls. Exactly. This is why Shirt Lab exists, right? By the way.
Yep, absolutely.
Charles says people are ignorant and talk out of their butts. One of the best things I did was research and learn who the best people are in the industry are. That way I know the information I'm looking at is worthwhile. And I know 100% they know more than me. I appreciate all the knowledge, all the people like you guys share your knowledge.
I appreciate Charles because he's done that research and yet he still talks to me. I don't know why. So, yeah.
Yeah. And over in Sweden, thank you, Ghoster, for posting.
Yep.
We got the same trolls that jump on dealers that want to help and just say that they only help so they can sell more. They're not into helping the individual, so the dealers log out.
Yep, exactly.
Information is, thanks, Greg. Good to see you, buddy.
Yep.
Information is power. Accurate information is priceless. Wisdom is earned.
Spoken from a guy who I watched and, one of the best teachers and industry speakers we had because I'd been to a shop and Greg taught what he did.
Yep.
There was no blowing smoke.
Yeah. Frank
great
says,
example, a great mentor, and I'm ever thankful for you, Greg.
Yeah. Frank says, when you close your mind, you lose friends, learning opportunity, and money. Look at all those who are finally coming around to DTF.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're at the top of the hour, right? And before we go, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to throw out their Sunday football predictions. There's 2 games. Who's the winner right now, real quick, because we got to go. Throw it in there, right? Who you got? Who you got, Alan?
Detroit over San Francisco, 27-24.
And what about the Chiefs game?
I don't know football as well. I'm going to go Chiefs over Ravens. Let's go. I'm going to go 21-14.
I have Chiefs and the Lions. I don't know the score, but just because that's my, I got this thing, this lingering. I got the Chiefs just because Taylor Swift is going to be the deciding factor in the game. And the Lions because of Dan Campbell's a badass.
And hey, they have Taylor Swift. We have Eminem. There we go.
Oh, is Eminem suiting up?
Well, no, but neither's Taylor, but he's there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She's at the game. Come on.
Eminem's always
show it all the time.
Eminem and Jeff Daniels is the game. He's a Detroit guy. He lives in Chelsea, Michigan.
Is he? Is he still alive?
Jeff Daniels? Yeah, he's been in all the games.
Okay. So we got some predictions here. So, of course, Peter says Chiefs. Greg says Detroit and Kansas City.
It'll be fun.
Frank says Chiefs in San Francisco. Sorry, Alan.
You know what? That's okay, Frank. You know what? We're just happy at Detroit that we're up here after all the years. So, it's still weird to us. It's surreal.
Yeah, it is surreal.
It is.
So if the Chiefs, the Lions are in the Super Bowl, you going?
No, they're saying tickets are going to be in the thousands, multiple thousands.
Yeah, but this is probably the only time you'll ever get to go.
Probably not. You know what?
Hold on. You just sold your house. You've got money for that ticket.
Yeah, well, it's invested in. It's already earmarked and invested.
You're not going to invest in a Super Bowl ticket?
Absolutely, it's not an investment.
That's some kind of fan you are.
I am not that, and I said that. You know what? I'm a fan. I am not a deep dive football. I don't know, like Marshall, you know the plays and everything, and I can pick them up and do that and talk. I'm just not that deep, and as some of you guys, I don't pretend to be. Baseball World Series, that would be different if Detroit goes back, but yeah.
I'm just giving you crap because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simon says Arsenal for the win.
Okay.
And Jody says, save your money, Alan.
Absolutely, Jody. I love you. Actually, what do I do?
My wife. I don't know if you know this about my wife, but she's always right.
Yeah, you know what? But I do spend my money on other stuff. I'm planning on going back to Asia in May. So yeah.
Good. So. Charles says, I think Chiefs San Francisco. Also, sorry, Alan, but it'd be cool to see the Lions go.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing on the San Francisco game. I'm going to be the fan and say Detroit, but like I said before, San Francisco is a powerhouse. But you know what? When you get to this level, everybody's going to be making adjustments.
I think these two games, it's a coin toss. Whoever scores last is going to win, kind of a thing. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a blowout in either game, which is going to be really exciting.
It's going to come down to adjustments, turnovers, things like that.
Yeah.
Capitalize.
All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for watching. Alan, safe travels, pal. And we will see you guys next week. And hopefully we've got some guests that we think we're going to be lining up. And maybe we can get the first one next week. We'll see how good we are at booking talent. So that's actually Alan's job for the show. So we'll see,
I fail at it.
I think I'll handle some of these.
If you want to email me, let me know. So let's go.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye.